pre-show party that we all have during the intro. Hello, hello. Oh my God, it has been a long time after Lisbon, after Las Vegas. Finally, we are here in the metaverse, in the Vivid Gallery metaverse. How are you guys? Scotch, you look tired after all these events.
Yeah, yeah, still recovering. But yeah, it's nice to be here tonight. Nice
Nice.
to be here to celebrate Medusa's collections with
Exactly.
Stephen and yourself. So, uh, very happy.
Well, we needed to do that. It has been like more than a year now. No, almost 2 years now since Rising Echoes, right?
Mhm.
This could be
Yeah.
the birthday, we're celebrating 2 years of Rising Echoes a little bit before, you know. And Medusa, you're so tired, right? After Lisbon, it was intense for you. How are you?
Yeah, yeah. Like, yeah. Right now, I feel really great because it was like 2 weeks ago, Lisbon, so I had time to rest. But always took it with a lot of people in not your native language. Also, it's stressful, and yeah, I'm a really solitary guy that likes to work alone. So sometimes this is hard for me
Yeah.
to be talking with too much people, and I felt so tired after this. But right now we are recovered and ready for the next one.
Let's go. Well, Steven, you also put a lot of effort into Las Vegas. This guy is crazy. I started, going on X in Las Vegas, and I see Steven live just after a crazy day. I'm like, what the fuck? What are they doing? That was intense, right?
Dude, we were raising hell out there. It was an incredible time, and I still have not caught up on sleep. And hopefully, I will be able to keep my eyes open for the rest of the stream. But with Medusa's art being the focus, I have to imagine my attention is going to be fully captive.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Steven. Well, it's good to have you here, guys. As we said, to celebrate Medusa's art. Um, we need to do that for every Vivid collection. When we release all these collections, it was a moment when we didn't have this show, and I think it's great to go back, retrospective on these collections, give the information that people may have missed. And yeah, that's why we are doing right now on Vivid. We are updating all the web page of every past collection. What I'm going to do is also add this short video show on those pages for people that want to know more about these collections, because those are great collections. Like I'm very very happy and proud to have released such amazing collections with these artists in the past 2 years, and I think it deserves it. So yeah, welcome back, Medusa, to talk about Rising Echoes and Artifact. I don't know if it's gonna be
Yeah.
weird a little bit for you. Maybe it's gonna say, I don't know, guys. I forgot about this. I don't remember the creative process. I don't remember anything. But
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Yeah, clearly.
it was crazy. But yeah, we already have Como here, evening all. Hi, Como. Well, I forgot about these guys. Please, if you are listening right now, give us a like and a retweet as always, so more people can watch the show live. But anyway, don't panic if you can't watch it right now. We are doing this also to have this information forever. So you'll be able to watch the replay either on X or on our website. So yeah, let's start, guys. I wanted to show this. Just before the show, Medusa told me, guys, you have a great designer at Vivid. So we are proud that he likes the web page. That's cool. What did you think now? Like, look, we have the Rising Echoes page here. To me, it's simple, but it's true that most of the collections don't have a proper web page, where they describe a little bit all the features or the important stuff about the collection. So I think that's great. Our goal was always to try to give as many information just from the visual point of view, because not many people read anymore, and that's also why we're doing this show. But yeah, do you like it? What do you think? Do you think that we did a great job on explaining Rising Echoes? GM, great shirt, coach.
Yeah, clearly. Like the page. I remember the page that was before, and it was describing, I think, only the algorithm, which is something great, but here it gives more context, I think,
Mhm.
about all. So yeah, I think it's a big improve on what was before.
Yeah, well, anyway, we're gonna go through that. We have a base chain. It's always nice to see people coming to these shows. Great shirt, Scotch. It's funny. Like, can we just talk a little bit about it for 30 seconds, please, Scotch? What is this? Did you get it at Las Vegas during Las Vegas
Yeah, I
event
did.
or what?
Yeah, it was Las Vegas merch, and so I thought, like I just have to rock something from Vegas because, yeah, I was going to wear a Pizza Ninja shirt, but I just thought, degenerate Bitcoin energy. That's kind of what we are in the eyes of so many laser-eyed maxis. We're degenerates that are just graffitiing the blockchain. And I mean, when you graffiti something with art that is as spectacular as Medusa's art, I mean, like bring it on. I mean, if
Yeah.
that's what they think, of this kind of beautiful generative art, then there's no helping them. But eventually they'll come around. They definitely will. But yeah, it's I think at this point in time we're all degenerates because it's a very interesting space to be in. It's not recognized by a lot of laser-eyed maxis. But it's the first use case, right? It's ordinals is the first real use case of Bitcoin. Until then, you bought Bitcoin, you held Bitcoin. There was nothing else to do with it, right? So ordinals have brought an amazing use case to Bitcoin. So they really should be embracing it and applauding the efforts of everybody who's trying to build on it right now.
Mhm.
We know the story about the miners, how profitable it is for them, and it gives them motivation to keep their nodes running and so forth. So I mean, hey, let's go.
Oh, well, great intro. I love it. Thanks. Thanks, man. Just so I wanted to put a little bit of pressure on Medusa because Stephen told me while we were preparing this show that it was like, you know what? I don't know a lot about Rising Echoes and Artifact, but I do love what Medusa is doing right now. So the goal is that you convince Stephen, that Rising Echoes and
Whatever.
Artifact are top tier collections. That's your goal today, okay?
Okay, that's
Dear
nice.
one. Perfect. Well, we have Mr. Wagmi here with the background, the Rising Echoes background. Thank you so much, Wagmi, GM. But yeah, let's go through it. Well, so I'm going to scroll down a little bit the page, and we're gonna start by Rising Echoes. For those who don't know, Rising Echoes is actually the first Vivid collection. So it comes just after Sats by Harto, that was like the Genesis pass of the past project and everything. And Rising Echoes came at a time like where is there something going on in Ordinals? Like, can we really do an art project in Ordinals? And it was in July, August, yeah, exactly, 2023. It was a time like nobody was here, nobody was buying anything, and we came here with this Rising Echoes project by Medusa, and it was a lot of work, and we didn't know exactly what we were doing. From a technical point of view, it was everything was happening so fast. Every week you had something new, and we finally learned about recursion. People started using recursion to do generative art, and that's what we did with this collection. So I have a couple of things that I wanted to say about Rising Echoes and ask about it. But the thing is, Stephen and Scotch, you can also feel free to ask your questions. But to me, one thing that I love about Rising Echoes is that it's a 200 pieces collection, but do you know, guys, that it has 96 color palettes, if I'm right? Like, or something like this. You created maybe like 100 palettes or something like this. And I remember the curation took days and days and days because it was super difficult. So that's to me the first topic that I wanted to talk about you. Like, with 96 unique color palettes, do you really think that this was important for the collection, or like, do you think that it's something necessary for a generative art collection, or did you just selected almost 100 color palettes because you have always this feeling like it's not finished, I need to improve it a little bit, and you are frustrated that it's never perfect? Well, tell us about it.
Well, first, I think it's you don't need that much color palette on a generative art collection, and also it has so many palettes because at the beginning I was thinking in creating a bigger collection. Then
Mm-hmm.
talking with Gerard and Harto, they told me that would be better a small one, and right now I feel really great to only have 200 pieces. I honestly love more the small collections. I think it's better for the collectors also.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like here in Rising Echoes, it comes more from an exploration. Um, and somehow I wanted that each output feels really unique and different, and that's why I put so many palettes in there. It's because I wanted to have a really big variety. I think that brings some value on this kind of generative art project, because it doesn't sustain on a really big concept, but it's more a hard generative project in terms of trying to get the maximum variety of the outputs and aesthetics and exploit it as much as I could.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because yeah, this collection doesn't born from a unique path and perspective, a clear vision that I wanted, that I had at first, but it came more exploring and creating a dialogue with the computer. So it was more a work with my computer where I just code and it bring me the
Mm-hmm.
outputs and the visual feedback. So that's how
Well, it
I
was your
started.
time at FX Hash, right? I remember you were doing a lot of things on FX
Yeah,
Hash, and
exactly.
I know that that's not going to please Steven because he hates us. But but I remember
Well,
we found your work on Tezos, and
yeah.
that's when we knew, okay, maybe this is a good candidate to release the first ordinals collection of the gallery. And it was hard, like,
Mm,
guys, right now a lot of people want to build on Bitcoin to release their art, but 2 years ago it was extremely difficult to find an artist to release a work with. So yeah, Medusa, extremely visionary on the ordinals
mhm.
movement, and also, very courageous of saying, okay, I'm going to be the first one. I'm going to launch something where nobody is talking about it. So yeah, pretty cool. But as you
Yeah.
said, it was an exploration, and that's something that we find out in a lot of FX Hash collections. People just playing with the computer, trying to find their aesthetics, what they want to play with. So yeah, 100%.
Mhm. Yeah, like before going to ordinals, I did so many sketches on FX Hash. It was the beginning for me, and it's where I learned all the techniques and everything that at the end came to this. So it's when I feel attracted with this isometric style, and I saw other generative, really great generative collections that uses this style, but I wanted to do something different and using techniques that I didn't saw before. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I started building this.
Mm-hmm. Right. Guys, I don't know if you wanted to maybe add something about that, but then I wanted to talk about the metadata because for me that was one of the first important things that we started doing at Vivid.
Yeah, I actually did have one question about that because while you did display the metadata as it is shown on screen, right, with that
Mm-hmm.
modal viewpoint, like I'm curious, was that one of the first iterations that we saw it of showing the metadata live in the inscription on chain? Because I think that was probably so on at this point in Bitcoin's history, right?
At that time,
Yeah,
we, yeah, no. Uh, I remember that at that time we had this discussion that we needed to find a way to put the metadata on chain, and I think it wasn't available, on the, like, at least there wasn't this metadata structure that we have right now. But I remember that it was very important for us to have the metadata on chain and also on Magic Eden. Everybody was putting everything on Magic Eden. Like, okay, how can we change that? At that time, I know that nobody was doing it, and we did it. But I think so that it's one of the first, at least, generative art collections with these kind of things. Yeah, but not a lot of people know about it. And I found out doing this, preparing the show, that we need to put also the Magic Eden metadata, because it's not there. It's only in the artwork. It's only on the blockchain.
Right.
Because at that
You're
time
right.
nobody was doing it. It was so early.
Yeah. Clearly.
But it's going to be funny because every color palette is going to say, "Oh my God, there is only 1% of the collection with this color palette. I have such a rare piece." But no.
Yeah, I remember that when I was on Fikis Hash, we had also the parameters and the rarity and everything. And when I came to Ordinals, it's something that I wanted to have it there somehow, and the only way was to displaying it like this.
Yeah, no, 100%. What do you think, guys? Do you think that it's really important to have the metadata of a generative art collection? Like, do you use it a lot? For example, I know for collections like On-Chain Monkey, Genesis, or whatever, you look a lot at this, and on Magic Eden, it's great because you have how do you say, you have the percentage, you have the amount of pieces that have this trait, and a lot of people use that to pick rare pieces. Is that something that you use a lot in while collecting generative art collections? I'm talking to Scotch, of course, but I think that Steven also collects a few artworks.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's absolutely important because I've got a bit of a penchant for grails, and so if I'm looking for something rare, there's just absolutely no way that you can scroll through and try to find something rare and be able to collate that data in your head. I mean, it would be extremely difficult. So yeah, personally for me, as you say with the on-chain monkeys, I often check the floor on like naked monkeys. I'll go through and just select hat 0, clothing 0, earring 0, and then that'll basically bring up the naked monkeys. So very, very easy to check the floor, see what's hanging around. That's just one example. But yeah, I think that having the metadata on the chain, so people can go and sort of find that, and it needs to be, obviously needs to be indexed by Magic Eden, or else it's no point. There is no point of having it if it's not indexed, because it'd be very, very difficult for us to be able to sift through.
Yeah, agree. And you,
I
Steven?
think that as it goes right now, because there are so few ways to really explore collections, the metadata and attributes that you index on Magic Eden and on Gamma end up becoming invaluable for the collector that wants to actually understand the algorithm. And it's a really, really tricky thing because, I mean, when you when you look at early art collections on Bitcoin, there's not a lot of treatment to that, right? There's not a lot of treatment towards, providing differentiation. And some of that is intentional, right? There are plenty of artists out there that don't necessarily want you to focus on what, makes each individual piece stand apart. They want you to look at the collection as it is at the whole. But for what you guys do, and for generative art in particular, because I'm a big believer that you should look beyond just the visual. You should try to understand what these parameters really do in fact influence. I think it's an incredible approach, and I think it's something that we need more of, not less of.
No, I agree. I also think that for some people it's extremely difficult to overlay and log. Why it's not working? I also think that for some people it's very difficult to just understand what they are reading. Why it's not working here? Shit.
I have trouble loading them sometimes as well, and
Just
Yeah,
gonna.
me too.
Okay. Well, no worries. But yeah, as you can see here on the web page, when you hover the piece, you have all the data. It's gonna load here, and but you have a lot of different things, and that's something, at least for me. When you see all these parameters, sometimes it's very hard to understand. For depending for each algorithm, of course, for Unchained Monkey, it's very simple. Say, okay, hat. Okay, what's this kind of hat? That's very simple. But for this collection, uh, I have to say that I don't look at it that much. I do check the color palettes and these things, but sometimes it's just very difficult. And I also saw that for mitosis, for example, there are some things that you just don't understand. and you really need to think about it, and you need to have maybe some dev knowledge, or at least mathematical knowledge, to understand it. But yeah, I think that for someone that really enjoys generative art and that it's very techy, that's something that
Hmm.
we're gonna check. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, clearly for me, like the main thing is for calculating the rarity, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Totally.
yeah, maybe looking more deeper on what's the meaning of each parameter. It's more a techie thing, as you said. It's great. It's
Exactly.
only for some people, but it's a
Uh,
tool. I, I
but
saw it.
it was a great addition, to be honest, here on Rising Echoes. When we were just exploring what we can do, and look, we were precursors of parent child. For those who don't know, when you hover on the artwork, as you can see here on the bottom right corner, there is the title Rising Echoes by Medusa and curated by Vivid Gallery. So I had the provenance in there already, before the parent child. We wanted to do something. And at that time, it was the only idea that we got. It was like, okay, how can we keep that on chain forever? Boom, directly on the artwork. But the cool thing is that for people who own the Rising Echoes, no worries, we're gonna soon do the proof of provenance of the collections. I guess that we will do the gallery thing, linked to the Vivid parent and your seal, of course. So yeah, to have proper provenance after 2 years. Yeah. Do you wanted to say something else, Medusa, about the collection? Because I know you said technical exploration, very aesthetic, but you also played a little bit with, with Mondrian. At least I know that you got inspired by that. Maybe you can say a couple of words about that.
Well, yeah, about Pete Mondrian, it was more like this recursive style that somehow he had, and the aesthetics, and I got inspired by that. But more, it was more like a visual approach, not like in Artifact, for example. I got um, more in deep with the authors on constructivism, but here it was more something as a visual approach.
Mm-hmm.
And I use this style of dividing the grid for creating all the cells where all the buildings from Rising Echoes uh, goes up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was more a visual
Mm.
exploration.
No, but at least it's cool because I know that a lot of people are very fan of Piet Mondrian, and I was talking to this girl a couple of days ago that I just met. Yeah, yeah, I'm doing art on Bitcoin and everything. I was explaining, so, and she was talking about a lot of big artists. Like, okay, look, we did this, and it's inspired by Piet Mondrian. We did this, and it's an inspiration from constructivism, and I think that for a lot of people this is cool because it's like recreating, or at least using a style with today tools. And how would maybe Piet Mondrian could have done a work if he was alive today, and using algorithms and everything. So I think that's pretty cool. Well, guys, you mentioned Artifact. To me, this is one of of the collections that I remember the most because it was at a moment where a lot of people were super excited about ordinals, and we wanted to do something unique, and that's when we did this 300 uncommon ordinals. It was such a great mission, to go find this for these 300 uncommons. One of the collectors that we had that we have at the gallery helped us on that, and I'm very thankful because it allowed us to create this amazing project, and it was perfect for Artifact, right, Medusa? I remember when we talked about it. It really, it matched the concept. So let's talk about Artifact. Oh, you, Stephen Miller, you remember about Artifact or not? Because I
Oh
remember
yeah.
you either mentioned it or we did a show, maybe. I don't remember that.
Yeah, no, I had
I
mentioned Artifact on that, but there was a question I did really want to ask before we get too deep into Artifact, and maybe it's just a happenstance observation, but one of the things that I kind of have picked up on with you, Medusa, over time is that like your influences have continued to follow um, the letter M, and of course your name starts with Medusa, right? M. You're moving from Mondrian to, in a lot of ways, Matisse with this, and then into the future with this next collection with Marguerite. I'm curious if that is in fact by design or if that is something that just has happened by happenstance.
Well, I think it's because I really love all the artistic movements that were in the 20th century. Like my father, he learned me how to paint, and he teach me a lot about all these movements that happened the past century, and it's something that I feel really, really in deep, and I think that's why I bring out uh, when I code this when I started this project. It was something that was inside me, and yeah, and honestly, like in my parents' house, we have a lot of pictures, not the real ones, but from some of these artists, and I don't know, it's an style. The 20th century vanguards. Well, it's something that it's been always around me in my childhood and my young ages. So maybe that's why now I'm using all this stuff
Mm.
from back then.
I got you. And then the one quick
Mm.
follow up to that, and I'm deliberately asking you this. Am not directing this to Gerard at all. I'm curious from
Yeah,
your perspective because obviously it's been quite some time now since the original collection. But
yeah.
how has your relationship with Vivid evolved since? Right, from one project to the next. Obviously, galleries and art houses can have an evolving relationship. I'm just curious from your perspective how that progression has been.
Well, I think talking about the relationship, I think it's getting closer and closer within the time. It started really well with Rising Echoes, and yeah, honestly, like that's why I didn't launch anything else on other platforms or anywhere like. Um, Honestly, I love how Vivid works and how they do the things and how they do the curation, the preparation, and they bring me all the tools to finish this work. Um, so yeah, I think in terms of how it's evolving right now, it's even more close.
Mhm.
And now with the roster artist, it's even closer, I think.
Mm.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
true that.
So now that we've inflated Gerard's ego, Gerard, feel free to take it away.
Now, for me, it just makes sense. When we first met Medusa, as I said, it was great from the beginning. And when you have these feelings, like everything, it's easy. When you work with someone and it's easy to just collaborate and to do the modifications, like is it's a very transparent way of working. Like for example, when Medusa just the last days he was maybe proposing some changes on some last details of the next collection. I it's great to feel that you can just share your feedback without hurting anyone, and because he knows us and he knows how we work, and he knows that it's not an attack on his style or his skill. It's just a feedback, and it doesn't mean that we are going to change it, but at least boom, everybody takes the feedback into account, and then we take the decision. So it's the fastest way also to work. And um, and as at Vivid, we put a lot of effort into every detail. We need to go fast because every time that you want to release a collection and you want it to be as perfect as possible, you take maybe 80% of the work is only for the 10 last percent of the collection. So if it's not
Yeah.
fast and if you don't have this kind of relationship, it doesn't work. And that's why we continue working with Medusa first, because we love his artwork, but because it's a person where we can work easily. And that's the same thing for all the other artists we are working with. And if I want to be honest, now I'm a little bit even scared of adding new artists to the gallery, or do these small releases, because I just don't know how it's gonna happen, and I'm a little bit afraid that maybe it's not going to work that well. And I just feel like we have our own family. And to me, I was answering this question for an artist, like, okay, what does it take, to release with you guys? And like, yeah, well, it takes time. We need to just chat a little bit, maybe meet, maybe do a small project before, because we don't do a project every 2 days, so it needs to be very important for us every time, and we cannot allow ourselves, I think, to spend 2 3 months on a project with someone that maybe it's not going to fit that much. But yeah,
Yeah.
very happy to work with Medusa, and that's why also we are updating the web page so more people
Mhm.
can
I would
start.
like to say that also that when you work with more people, and you can't do things alone, it's something that I found. Like I just want to be on the art side and creating, and like don't worry on the other stuff that should be there and has to be there, and
Mhm.
that's when Vivid comes. And somehow, when you work with someone, you have to be flexible and understand the ideas, give feedback, and change things if they want. And also, it's not something that, like, for me, artistic creation, it's not something that you create. Okay, here is the thing, and I forget about everything. I think it has to go deeper
Mhm.
in that.
No, 100% I agree. Well, I wanted to put the artifact video that we did. I don't know if this gives you nostalgia, the Scotch folks, to remember about that teasing video or not.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, everything about even Medusa's artworks give me nostalgia. Even thinking back to Rising Echoes, like I've been a pretty big sort of hi-fi guy all my life, and I was always cracking open old like amplifiers and CD players and this and that, and just sort of have a look inside, see what's going on, and just they just look like this amazing, intricate artwork of exactly what I used to look at, capacitors and chips and all these things, and so I get a lot of nostalgia from Medusa's work. Artifact is absolutely spectacular. I love the different palettes. I really appreciate how he has taken those from famous artists that he's gained inspiration from. And yeah, I think definitely this, what you were just talking about with the website and everything, Gerard, I think that this is exactly what we need to showcase beautiful collections like this, because Magic Eden doesn't do the job well enough. People can have a look at the collection, they go, oh yeah, that's nice, they move on. They need to be able to come to a website. They need to be able to understand Medusa's motivations. They need to understand the artwork a little bit more from the ground level. And I think this is perfect. You guys have done a really good job. Tell your web designer that he did a great job, Gerard.
Thank you. I will. Uh, Such an interesting progression. Oh, let's go. Maybe Munch, yeah. Maybe there's something cooking with Munch. We'll see. Guys, I just want to, I don't know if you notice this shot. I always been an extremely big fan of this shot from the teaser. How it connects. Where was this? Is this in Valencia? Because really, it
This
connects
is the
perfectly with the collection. You're talking about the intersection, about forms, and I was like, wow, you found the perfect basketball court.
Yeah, it's a really nice place at the coast of Valencia, where are all the ships there. And yeah, honestly, if someone goes to Valencia, it's a really good place to
Mm.
walk and everything. It's on the coast.
Yeah, but yeah, look
But
at
yeah,
that shot.
like we
It looks
we
perfect.
were walking. Yeah, we were walking on that, looking for locations for filming the video, and we saw all the colors and everything on the ground there, and we thought that it was perfect for this.
Guys, pure nostalgia, isn't it? Look at this,
More than 1 year. More than 1 year.
the old Vivid logo. Oh my god.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Ah,
There was
we
nothing
get,
wrong with the old Vivid logo. I mean, that I love the Vivid logo currently. I think it's amazing. But there was nothing wrong with the old Vivid logo as well. And especially when you were
Yeah,
releasing collections, I remember you used to put the
yeah,
like the Deus Ex Machinas behind the
exactly.
logo
Yeah.
and so forth, and give people little teasers about what might be coming, and so that was fun as well. But
Mhm.
yeah,
yeah.
it's
It's not
better
that
now.
bad.
No,
It's
but
not
the
that
new
bad.
logo, it's to me now. I just love it. I don't see it changing in a lot of years. But yeah, great,
And when you
great.
see that. You see that old one, VID. I mean, it doesn't really, kind of give you the whole picture of what you're actually looking at.
Exactly.
It sounds like a autoimmune disease or something like that. I've got VID. What is that? So I think it's better as it is now.
True, true, true. But let's go to the web page. That was the teaser video, and I know that we put a lot of effort into that, and it was a great video. I remember people loved it, and it was at the time
Mhm.
where this was super important. It's funny because I never know how much importance do people give to these kind of teasers, but when it when you really can do something that connects with the collection, and it's going to be a big collection, so you can also afford yourself to do that. I love it because it's like doing this small collection or this small art project by itself. And I remember working with Medusa. I went here to my house, recording a little bit. So yeah, it was a great experience. But yeah, let's go for to deep dive about Artifact. So I chose to write here origins, imperfection, intersections because that's basically what you play with. But suddenly it becomes a lot more. It becomes a great collection. It becomes this homage to all the artists that you got the inspiration from, and uh, and for me, the cool thing about this collection is that you are playing with origins, imperfection, and intersections to create this homage, but it becomes this mix between what a digital algorithm, the new technology can
Mhm.
work, but at the same time, it doesn't look like it's an algorithm that created it, but you did it on purpose. You wanted to have these small imperfections that give this feeling that it has been painted or reproduced by a human. And at first,
Mhm.
this to me was extremely weird. And every time that I speak to people, that's always the same thing that they tell me. It's like, isn't it the point of having something perfect, or at least from the technical point of view, when you're doing an algorithm? Every time that I talk about digital art to someone and show these collections, like, yeah, but that's weird. It almost feels like you just didn't know how to do it. I say, no, 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 it's the opposite.
It's the opposite because it's more hard, I think, to give this human touch on the artwork. I think, like,
Yeah.
yeah, for me, Artifact was, if Rising Echoes was an exploration, Artifact was more a discovery of what I want to do and what's my main line of work. Um, so yeah, I found that I feel really attracted with the traditional styles and how the traditional painting, all the imperfections that it has, and I wanted to start building on it, and it's gonna be my main line of work, as I said, for
Hmm.
the next collections and everything. And it started here with
Yeah.
Artifact.
But that's the thing. Like, to me, it's a complete switch from Rising Echoes because Rising Echoes is extremely
Mm-hmm.
precise.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when you look at it, everything is just perfectly aligned. And here, well, I don't know if people can see it, but anyway, you'll be able to see that if you zoom on the PCs, go on Magic Eden, just check for your favorite one, and you will see that. But here, it's not when I see imperfections in generative art, usually it's displacements. You have the digital artwork that it's kind of perfect, aligned, and then the artist decides to maybe just move a little bit the things so it gives this distorted feeling. But here you don't have this feeling. You didn't move anything. It's just that, for example, you didn't feel completely the shapes that needed to be filled, or there is just a small part that it looks hand drawn, and to
Mm-hmm.
me that's the force of this collection because it's not. It has been made like this from the beginning. It's just as phase one, I do the artwork, and phase two, boom, I move it, I displace it.
Yeah, 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 clearly. Like when I started building this algorithm, everything was perfect. I don't know if we have some uh, whip outputs. I don't think so. You have it there, but
I don't have
anyway,
it there now. Sorry.
yeah, don't worry. But yeah, like at the beginning, everything was perfect, but somehow I feel like I didn't feel attracted or connected to that. So I wanted to bring some human touch, to bring some human feeling, to feel it more natural and organic. That's why I started playing with putting some, not only displacements but some imperfections on the algorithm,
Hmm.
and it came out to this.
Yeah, looks perfect. I love it. I love it. I love it. I wanted to talk also about the difference between both hardware. So we said Rising Echo is very precise. This one, just
Mhm.
human side, and but something that I think that I start recognizing in all of your works is that you're trying to, so you get inspiration from past movements, pioneer movements, famous art movements, and you try to contextualize them in what society right now and with the technology that we have now. Is that something that you think about it, or that maybe you just realize with me, or maybe I'm just the one thinking that way? But I do think that that's something that we find out in every of your work, because I'm also thinking about the next collection, and you're also, you
Yeah,
get
clearly.
inspired, right?
Yeah, clearly. As I said, I think it's gonna be my main line of work, and it's gonna be something that identifies my work. So for me, Rising Echoes was the end of an epoch. I don't know,
Yeah.
like the beginning of my path, and this opens a new path that I might be following the following years.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like I feel really attracted with these hand drawing styles and everything. I think that there are a lot of things to do and explore on this
Yeah.
side.
Hmm. Completely. um tuk tuk tuk. Let's talk a little bit about the book, guys.
Yeah,
Scotch,
the
Mhm.
book's
you got
interesting.
yours?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I need to
And
send one to Steven. I'm so sorry. Steven, please send me a message after that. I need to send you one.
yeah, 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 the
He
books are
really,
absolutely amazing. I mean, I've never known of anybody else who has done, NFT releases, ordinal releases, who have taken that much care to collate, the entire collection into such a beautifully bound book, and to post that out to people, and at great cost. I would imagine that it definitely wouldn't have been an inexpensive exercise to do that, and it adds that really, really special touch. And yeah, I think that that's a brilliant way to get the digital artwork into regular people's hands as well. I remember, I think it was Bud Snob saying that, just having it on the coffee table, and people can come over and they can pick it up and they can flick through it, and it's like, oh wow, this is really cool, and it's like it's such a great introduction into digital art because they're holding something physical, which is what they know, and then you can introduce them into something that they don't. Um, so I think that it's brilliant, and that will stay in my library, forever. And hopefully, yeah, hopefully, well, the same as your pieces, Medusa. Like they're sort of in the vault, and that's the way it is. So it's having something that can connect the digital and the physical world like that so tangibly is just it's spectacular. Love it.
thank you so much. Like for me, the book makes a lot of sense more on this ordinance space and NFTs in general. Like printing is okay, something good, but what happens when you print an artwork, give to a collector, and then the collector sells this artwork? He's going to keep the printing, which okay, it's okay, but I think it makes more sense to have a book somehow, because it's not really attached to one piece, but to the whole collection.
Mhm.
And as you said, it's something really nice to show to other people that it's not inside the space, and to let them understand a little bit more
Mhm.
uh, how everything works.
Yeah. Put the works in perspective. I agree. Like having your own print, it's cool, but it's one piece
Hmm.
from the collection, and that's I got trouble with that, because every time that I invite someone over and they see a print, it's hard for them to understand that this is a collection, and the generative side of it, because the first impression is an actual artwork. So it's hard to change the perspective after that.
Yeah.
But when you go to a book, boom, they understand. Okay, it's like a project. It's something that is not just about an artwork or the collection is the artwork, and they understand that. And it also,
Mhm.
like you put a lot of details about the collection. So that's also great. I love it. But to me, the most interesting thing about the book is that uh, you wrote something to every collector. At first, you sign them, and it was funny at first when we were doing this with Medusa. He is like, "Do you think that I have to sign them?" I was like, "Of course you have to sign them. Come on!" I was like, "But do people care about my signature?" It's like, "Of course they care." But it's not only that. You need to write something about that if you know the collector, or you always have some information. At least in Vivid, it's we always favorize this where there was a little bit more discussion. So you got some information from the collector. Maybe at least it's the PFP, and just receiving a short message saying, "Okay, this is your book with your name or your pseudonym, your handle, the Discord handle, and a short message about something that you lived on Discord, that you saw next, whatever." That's special to me, and for me, that was the initial of a movement that we wanted to explore with Vivi. Is like, okay, how can we improve this artist and collector relationship? And that's when also we came up with the artist retreat. Okay, let's go a step further. Let's do an artist retreat, because I think that there is a lack of relationship between artists and collectors. And when I see some collectors really connecting with artists, they love it. I go to events and I see, for example, in Lisbon, we went to Lisbon, and there was Yara that knows Cybersea and that loved his work. It's like, you see the connection. That's super important. So the book to me helped a lot for that, and we need to find other ways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Funny.
was
Yeah.
sorry,
Talk.
Medusa. I was just going to relay that little experience in Lisbon where we were sitting there and you came over and you were like, "Where's my book?" And it was like, "I don't know, it's gone." And it was like, "Oh, somebody stole the book," and I was like, "Really?"
Someone stole
But
the book. Really. Yeah.
yeah, but somebody had just seen the book, they'd picked it up, and they just
Hmm.
wandered off, and they were just looking at the artwork, and they were enthralled by it, and they came back maybe about 20 minutes later, and Medusa was able to start a conversation with him. But yeah, he was just mesmerized by what was inside, and so it was just so funny. It was like, really, somebody took the book. So we've only got one here, right?
Yeah, yeah, I remember this guy, and after that, I was talking to him. I was a bit mad at the beginning, but he was a really nice guy, and he told me that this book is amazing. It's a really great way to show a whole collection. I remember this guy was a really fun, like he loved to collect artistic books. So
Hmm.
I know he has plenty one, and he wanted me to sell to him, but I said that no, sorry, but this is only for the collectors. I only have five more here in in my home, so it's something that I cannot bring to you. And I remember also that this guy wanted to show the book. He took it again and showed to Eric Calderon that was
Oh,
also
nice,
there.
nice.
Yeah, and I think he showed to him too. But yeah, it was funny. At the end, it was not lost. And yeah, because it was also the first day, I think, of Lisbon.
We
So
needed it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we needed.
100%. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, guys, just closing a little bit after Artifact, just going to the next and last step of this show. Just wanted to mention, for those who don't know, guys, this is a collection that is subscribed fully on uncommon stats. So it's one of the biggest. I know that now Billy also released a collection of 300 pieces, but before that, I think it was Nulish that had a 50 or 100 pieces collection fully inscribed on uncommon. But at that time, that was the biggest generative art collection on uncommons. And for us, it was important because it really connects to the word artifact, to the title. Um, it's something uncommon. And at that time, it was also a great exploration, playing with rare stats. What does it mean? So for people that like that, that's important. Um, And also for those who don't know, all the palettes. So I wanted to go to Magic Eden here. All the palettes have they are titled by the name of a famous artist of that era. So yeah, you can go here exactly palette. So it's also pretty cool. I know that we talked about this with Thomas in Lisbon. I was like, oh yeah, this is my favorite palette, and I think that when you like a specific artist, that's pretty cool to collect this one. So just to connect back to what we're saying with Rising Echoes here in Artifact, all the metadata is already on Magic Eden. So yeah, really recommend to play with that. And for those who don't know, as you can see here, there are three palettes that have only one piece. So those are three special editions that we did. It was also something that we wanted to explore at that time. Having three specific artworks, one of one, inside of the same collection. Something that we also played in with the Vortex. But yeah, that was the beginning of how we can make generative art collections different and a little bit more interesting. So yeah, recommending everyone to go to Magic Eden and to explore the collection.
Hey, Gerard.
Yeah.
Gerard, you may want to check your audio. I don't know if it's just coming through for me, but it was coming through like very
Oh,
like
It was okay
interfered.
for me, Stephen. I didn't notice anything.
For me too.
It
I
might just be on my
think
side.
well, Steven and I don't have a lot of sound problems, but only between here. I don't know why. Okay, yeah, but guys, just before, because I wanted to tease your next collection, but just before that, just want to give like 5-10 minutes to talk about this first one of one that we did, and it was sold like 1-2 weeks ago, something like this, just at the end of Lisbon. And first, I wanted to congratulate you in front of everyone. Like seriously, you killed it with that. It was surprising because auctions weren't doing that well at the Bitcoin conference, and I wasn't sure that a lot of people will understand what you did with this artwork, but apparently you did. And I also have a lot of artists now coming uh, asking me, okay, how can I inscribe AI artworks or photographies using that technique? So I think that yeah, you really succeed in that, and you sent a great message. So yeah, just tell us about it. How was your experience releasing your first one of one?
amazing. Like you can see the results. So I honestly didn't expect it that went that well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's something that I'm going to keep doing in the future. And a collection, you can create a collection and take care of each output. But here, when you have only one, you can go even deeper on the details and try to create something even more perfect on. And you have more time to focus on this only one thing. So it's something that I really enjoyed a lot and I like, and for sure I will keep doing in the future if you guys let me.
Of
For
course.
sure.
No, the thing to me, it's a very risky move because
Mhm.
when you have such an important message to deliver, it's like, guys, there is another way to inscribe photographies or high resolution files on Bitcoin. You want to be loud, and by doing a collection, you are involving 100 200 person depending on the collection supply. So you are making sure that the message is diluted and more people are talking about it. And the problem with auctions and with one-on-ones is that, well, somebody may like the artwork, but because it's an auction and because they don't have maybe a lot of budget at that time, they are not going to put all the interest in the artwork and maybe not discover. But it was a great teaser, for what you have been working on. And I'm sure that we do not have only to do one of ones, but we should do like maybe a small collection talking about that technique, about that style, and how more people can use it. Maybe involving more artists and things. Maybe I'm teasing too much. I don't know.
For sure, for sure. This is one of my first approach, but like in the last months, I've been researching a lot on the image processing and how all these techniques can can be inside ordinals, and I've been trying sorry, a lot of other techniques that I'm going to explore more in the future. So this way of working, the way of working where you have a main and base, don't know, image or whatever artwork, and
Mhm.
then you amplify everything with code. It's something that I'm going to work for sure in the future, and with other kind of techniques, not only with oil brush
Super.
strokes, but other
Mhm.
kind that I'm already working on some of them.
Nice.
Mhm.
Well, I have a lot of
I
artists
really,
to put you in touch with.
I was thinking about the auction, you know, a lot coming up to the auction, and I really would have liked this piece. Liquid was low at the time, and then thinking about it after the auction, I was thinking, man, you know, point 0.042 it was very surprising for the market at the time, but still, this piece is historic, and it is a you know a genuine bargain actually. And I was thinking, you know, for 0.043, I might have won it, but honestly, the more I thought about it, the more I kind of came to the conclusion that I think the person who was bidding on this had a lot more liquid than I did. And I think that they were probably prepared to go quite a bit higher, because I think that they really saw the value of this piece. They saw that it is historic, that it is going to lead the way for other people to be able to do something very similar. And so I don't think that I would have been able to get anywhere close to, you know, to the actual buyer. So, you know, congrats to him, and congrats to you also, and to Vivid, because yeah, no, this is the sort of thing that the space needs, because, you know, people often go, oh, you know, Bitcoin, it's too expensive. You know, we'll go and mint on Tezos or Ethereum or this or that. Um, Whereas, you know, using these sorts of techniques, we can get like the most amazing artwork, you know, inscribed on Bitcoin forever, right? So, I mean, this is something really, really special. And yeah, you can definitely hold your head high, Medusa, for bringing something like this to the market, because I think it's going to open the floodgates for people to inscribe really high quality images for very little cost.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm really excited to start working with other artists, big ones that are already in the space, and other big ones that are outside that maybe they feel attracted with this. So
Mhm.
so yeah. Funny thing is that we don't know the collector
We
already,
still
and we
don't know
have
the collector. Yeah.
we still don't know
Please contact
the.
us. Contact us. We have a gift for you if you're listening to this space. But yeah, what
But
else?
I did notice that they bought an on-chain monkey the other day as well. So there was only two things in that wallet. There was Medusa's piece and an on-chain monkey. So, you know, I think they're a clever collector for sure.
Nice. The funny thing is, Scott's gonna tell us in a year that it was him. We just
It
don't
wasn't
know.
me. I can tell you right now, in the year's time, the story is not going to change. It definitely wasn't me. No.
But yeah, congratulations, man. Well,
Thank you.
I think it was great. I just wanted to close this video show with the future now, because we did this retrospective, and for the curious that are listening, you can go. Shit, let me just give me a sec. You can go to our website, and you will see that there is a new collection page, and that's called "Not a Painting" by Medusa. So yeah, the funny thing is that we're talking about this last one of one, but now you are doing a collection that kind of uses the same aesthetics, but it's not the same concept and the same piece at all, because here it's a complete generative art collection. And yeah, I just wanted to tease people. For those who are curious, you can already go check the web page and discover the artwork. Well, not everything, but you will see here some of the outputs. But yeah, just for you guys to know that we're gonna start communicating on that very soon. We are just finishing all the details, and as I said, trying to go as fast as possible with Medusa, but uh, there are still some things to do, and yeah, this is gonna be an amazing collection. Do you want to just maybe 30 minutes, 30 seconds, 1 minute teasing about the collection, what it is, and exciting people about
Yeah,
that. Oui.
I don't want right now to talk much about the concept. Yeah, I think we will have more time for
Of
this,
course.
but I just want to say that this continues like my main line of work as that it started with Artifact and to bring these traditional styles with oil brushstrokes. And it's really connected with the one-on-one piece. We will talk about that really too. And it uses also the same base code for the physics and the brushstrokes generation. But here we have a full generative art work.
Hmm.
It's not based on base images and nothing. And yeah, a funny thing that I will say about this is that when we were in Lisbon, like a lot of people came really attracted to our booth and show all the printings that I bring there. Yeah, those printings.
Hmm.
And yeah, a funny thing was that most of people thought that these prints were like real paintings.
Hmm.
Like they were really amazed when I said to them that it was only generative art, only code art. So for me, it's something really great because it's really connected with the main concept of the artwork and the intention on it.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I'm really excited to
That's
launch
enough,
this. We are
man. No
finishing.
worries. You don't have to say more.
Okay,
You don't have to say more.
okay, okay. If you keep,
No.
yeah, I will continue. No, no, okay.
Exactly. No,
We'll have
no, but we just wanted to tease a little bit. But I think that I really want people to just go to the webpage because I know that some people do, but a lot of people just don't know that there is actual web pages on Vivid that they can get all the information, or at least part of it, and just go deeper during these video shows. But yeah, I forgot to take a print at home. I need to get one because we're leaving early and I didn't want to
yeah,
wake you
sure.
up. But yeah, I need one because I said, like, seriously, when you put it in, when you frame it and you have it at home, it really looks like it's a painting, and that's something that my wife loves. So I need one just to say, okay, you just don't have prints. We also have a painting now. She doesn't know. No. But yeah, well, guys, I don't know if you wanted to say something just before closing. Are you excited about this collection? I know, Steven, you told me that you were super excited about this collection, right? You're gonna host a color commentary on it, or what? I'm
My
putting
hope is
pressure
to do
here.
exactly that, but I would also like for the audio and the video to catch up on my end before I actually commit to doing that, so that we can represent the collection properly. I've been having a lot of audio technical issues right now.
It's so good. Uh, well, guys, up here we are back in the Vivid Metaverse. Boom. Well, it was a great show. Now I feel like we closed this loop about Rising Echoes and Artifact. We're gonna continue talking about that, but I hope that a lot of people discovered the artworks today and discovered more about these collections. At
Yeah.
least if you
Um,
did, that's good.
mhm. And as always, I'm really open if someone wants to know more about these artworks. Just DM me, and I always love to answer to everyone
Mm-hmm.
interested.
100%. Well, guys, I think it's time to say bye bye. Thank you for coming, as always. Thank you for sharing all your feedback and your stories, Coach. You know that you're always welcome here to, because it's so easy. You invite Scotch, and you know that you have a great guest that's gonna say, "Oh yeah, I love this collection." He's the best collector
Always.
out there. A lot of people are talking about that. Just so funny, we're going to the Magic Eden show. It's like, yeah, come on, Scotch. Now he's getting the famous collector role of Ordinal. So congratulations, Scotch. I don't know if you mean it, but you got this role now.
Well, I mean, I think, yeah, I think whoever has that role has to have wide shoulders because, you know, everybody, who I remember you saying on that Magic Eden show, just copy trade Scotch, and buy what he's buying. Um, you also have to be able to to ride the lows as well, right? And so I remember, I think Medusa, I think that I take the award of buying the top of Rising Echoes because I needed one to fill my vivid collection, and have a full set. And I think I bought the very top, and does that matter? To me right now, it doesn't matter at all. It's just that's where we are in the scheme of things, and everything is going to turn around, come back at some point. And I think that the amazing collections like Vivid is doing, then they'll have a very, very bright future. And especially when people start to realize what is happening in the future, then they will look back in the past. They'll be like, "What else have these guys done? Oh, look at this! This is so cool!" And look at Artifact and Do Six Machina, and and it'll just go on and on.
We are
So
documenting.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Absolutely. And, I just sort of feel like on my own little ordinal museum right now. I'm holding these amazing pieces that, one day people will go, wow, you've got one of those. And I'll be like, yeah, because, because I was on the ground when it happened, I was in the trenches, and so it's a privileged place to
Yeah.
be honest, because their ordinal art, digital art on Bitcoin has such a massive future that being here right now is the golden age. I keep saying it to people. This is the golden age for collecting art on Bitcoin, and to sort of think that we're here now in the trend of Bitcoin art. Very few people will be able to afford these predominantly very rare collections like these what we're talking about here, collections of 200, 300, and so forth. Once digital art takes off, these will be grails. They'll be as rare as hen's teeth, and people will be paying through the nose to have the privilege of holding one of these. So anybody who's selling their art at the bottom right now, I don't know what to say, honestly. um, just don't see the future. Think about what's coming. If you've got medical bills, if you've got to pay the rent, obviously we understand that. But for other people, flipping it into the newest, latest mint or whatever's going on Tezos, just please, just don't. Um, have a little bit more vision and stick around because it's going to be an amazing ride. I can guarantee.
Yeah. Well, guys, if you learned something today, is that you have to copy trade Scotch, but maybe with some months of delay. You wait for him to buy, you wait 2 3 months, and then you buy the same thing. that was the that was the end for me. Well, guys, now thank you so much, Scott, for everything you said. Now, because you're true, you're right. Sorry, and it's hard sometimes. But as you said, if you are even 1% optimistic about what we are building here, yeah, collecting artifact, collecting writing echoes for me makes just total sense. But you know, it's what it is, and I understand that people have also different situations. But yeah, collecting your favorite artworks right now, to me, it's really a chance. Just a couple of days ago, we collected a new on-chain monkey that we really wanted, and it almost feels free today, and it's perfect. So yeah, if you wanted to buy generative art, go check Medusa's art, and you'll be pleased. And of course, remember to come back in the next weeks because we're gonna talk about this is not a painting. Well, guys, thank you so much. See you. Bye bye. Say bye.
Thank you so
Thanks
much,
for having
guys.
us.
See
Ciao,
you
guys.
next time.
Lovely to be on stage with everybody today. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks,
Thank you.
Medusa. Thanks,
Thank
Chad.
you.
And thanks to our